Two witches torn apart, now alone. Two hearts of stone. A curse of feathers and mud. A betrayal of blood. This message was found through various hidden codes in Season 1 of The Owl House, alluding to the tragic reveal in the episode Agony of a Witch, the identity of who truly cursed Eda. Now that everything's out in the open, with the status quo shattering conclusion to boot, what does the new norm mean for the Clawthorn sisters? Let's talk about that. Of course, spoiler warning. If you are not caught up with the Owl House, please go catch up and then come back. But before we dive in, quick message from our Patreon. Quick Patreon plug. Today, I want to spotlight one of our incredibly talented patrons, Jovial Knights. I truly adore her art style, and as a Sonic fan, the way she can emulate the best of the franchise while adding her own flair to it is incredible. Not to mention, she has an Etsy shop with glowing reviews. Support smaller artists. You can find all of her social media in the description. And if you want to support the Roundtable, get access to outlines, video plans, and sometimes even early access to videos, you can check out our Patreon. Shoutouts are our $50 tier. Now back to the video. As we all know, Lilith cursed Eda in order to better her chances of getting into the Emperor's Coven. Throughout Season 1, Lilith was under the impression that she could make everything better by turning Eda into the Emperor, healing Eda of her curse, and allowing the two siblings to stand side by side, serving in the Emperor's Coven. But obviously, things did not shake out the way Lilith intended. And after a swift escape, Lilith casted one of her classic spells on Eda, allowing the two siblings to now share the curse, with unspecified ramifications. We know that Eda is completely depleted from any magic in her bile sac, her gem is dulled, and her and Lilith both share a gray eye. And we see firsthand that Eda can no longer perform magic. She makes a circle, but it immediately crumbles, leading Eda to practice a different method of magic, the glyphs. But then there's Lilith, who just claims she's been weakened, but there's no actual indication of a loss of magic. Still, considering the severity of the curse, I hope splitting it results in more than just a gray eye. It's always important to have stakes and consequences that last. Well, I speculated months ago that the end of Season 1 would result in a drastic change with Eda's curse, though I was off on what it would be, suggesting that Eda could potentially learn to control her curse, from the implications of her and King's B-plot in Escape of the Palisman. This controlled form would be akin to an edgy anime transformation, a werewolf-esque owl lady. Obviously, things didn't shake out like this, but I still can't help but to imagine that the curse being split between these two could still result in a similar transformation I previously described. Eda having a full-on curse meant a full-on owl lady. Eda's body and mind easily succumbing to a hulking beast who, if not kept in check, can be very dangerous and very destructive. So what would half a curse imply? I understand it's probably not as overwhelming for Eda, yet I just can't help but to imagine that half the curse means half the form as well. A form where Eda is conscious and aware of her surroundings. A form where she isn't on all fours, but her 2 feet are still firmly planted on the ground. A form where Eda still receives a massive boost in physical strength, something she needs now more than ever. And I mean, splitting the curse doesn't mean it won't flare up or have any other symptoms aside from weakened magic. Hell, while in combat, Eda and Lilith could suddenly find themselves fatigued, needing a moment to catch their breath, unable to advance further. And although they split the curse, they still have to be cured, because as far as Lilith is concerned, she'd still have to fight off the curse with her own magic, which would mean if this curse goes unchecked without a cure, she will eventually end up like Eda, unable to perform any kind of direct magic. Not to mention, they kinda need to compensate for this curse due to action naturally being a big element present in the Owl House. I don't think they want to rob Eda of any sweet action moments, although her big moments were namely with Lilith. So how do you go about this? Well, I can see Eda still utilizing her staff. After all, we saw in Youngblood Old Souls that a magic user is able to remotely trigger glyphs with the help of their staff. Something I assume will be commonplace for Eda. It requires a bit more strategizing, but if anyone's going to figure it out, it will be Edalyn. Not to mention, I can definitely see Eda strapping up glyphs on various weapons and objects, much like Luce did in both Enchanting Gromfrite and Wing It Like Witches. Despite this, I think there could still be at least one big moment in Season 2 where Eda's curse could flare up and transform her halfway, forcing her to fight in an unstable condition, which could still come with some perks, simply because as long as her out form has wings, she will be able to still zip around and fly. Something that would especially come in handy when facing against a powerful adversary and your own body is actively working against you. Ultimately, when it comes to combat and defending yourself, I can imagine the curse will be more of a boost than a crutch, but consequences will always remain, whether if it's extreme fatigue or something much more severe that could eventually lead to the end of Eda and Clawthorn. I imagine elixirs will do more good now than it did towards the end of the season, where they became less and less effective, but those always appear to be temporary solutions. There needs to be a more effective, immediate cure, one that I believe could be found with Lilith. I think she would want to hold on to her magic and fight the curse, even with the idea of a cool were-owl form to kick ass in. Whatever really happened with the healing hat could come back into play, as I want to reiterate the notion that it's possible she didn't truly destroy it, as we saw she was able to summon Albert and Eda's staff from nowhere in Youngblood Old Souls. So while this spell could have been representative of one thing, it could really mean another, or it could have been a fake. All of these relics could have been duplicates that just emulate what they really can do, or because of Belos' anticipations, he ensured only the healing hat was replaced with a replica. Hell, that makes more sense to me than the idea of these other relics being shams. Also, are we not going to find it just a little bit suspicious that such a powerful relic can just be destroyed by a simple fire spell from Lilith? And it wasn't even accompanied with a big flash or anything, it just withered into nothing. Which means the real relic could be out there. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a true plot point of Season 2, searching for the healing hat, or looking deeper into magic, into relics, into the Covens and previous masters, in hopes of developing a new cure. Maybe Lilith could grow so desperate to heal her curse that she would try to go back to Emperor Belos. Would he comply now that he has what he wanted from Eda, aka her portal? Or will he try to get something else out of Lilith, misguiding her once more, only to subvert her expectations, and, in his mind, finally put the petrification machine to good use? Either way, I believe the curse is far from over. Again, splitting it was just a temporary fix. The true battle comes with finding a new cure, and although Lilith did buy them some more time, I believe the fallout and consequences of her actions all around will also see lasting effects throughout this upcoming second season. Alas, we'll just have to wait and see. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? What are your thoughts on Eda's curse and the ways it could affect Lilith? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And for our own thoughts, you can find us at Roundtable Vids and me at AutricVox on both Twitter and Instagram. Special thanks to JANKYBONES for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of their amazing art, you can find them on Tumblr at JANKYBONES, Twitter and Instagram at BoneJanky, and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AutricVox signing out.